Welcome to my channel where I share recipes and information on the Vegan Autoimmune Protocol or the Vegan A.I.P lifestyle eating plan for autoimmune and gut healing. Well, it's spring in Colorado, so it's time for a yummy spring healing soup. Today I'm going to make Pistou Soup, a French soup from the southern region of Provence, normally packed with veggies, pesto, pasta, and beans. But we don't do legumes on the elimination phase of the Vegan Autoimmune Protocol, so we're going to leave those out. And we're going to use a grain-free cassava pasta, because we don't do grains on the elimination phase. I've seen lots of variations for the veggies used in this soup, so you can use what's in season, or you can just use what's handy and what you like. It'll still be delicious. On my channel, I focus on the elimination phase of the Vegan A.I.P. And the elimination phase is not meant to last forever. After you start seeing some real healing, you can move into the reintroduction phase, where there's a whole procedure for trying to reintroduce foods that formerly caused inflammation. And you can see all about the different phases of the Vegan A.I.P on my website. So if you've been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease or just struggling with lots of mysterious symptoms and you want to feel normal again and thrive, the Vegan A.I.P might just be what you're looking for. I've had various symptoms throughout my life, which for me were really difficult, but they were just the norm. Migraines, digestive issues, extreme fatigue, skin issues, eye inflammation, feeling like I had sand in my eyes. And suddenly a few years ago, I got a really bad case of the shingles, which was horrific. I don't recommend it for anyone. But it was a sign that something was really wrong. Then suddenly came debilitating arthritis overnight, which was really distressing and depressing. And I thought, is this my life now? I heard about the Vegan A.I.P actually from my brother, who had a few friends who were having success on it. And I started it immediately, and within a week I was having some major success with my arthritis and my migraines especially. So I felt super hopeful. Everyone's situation is different, but the Vegan A.I.P has helped thousands of people. Personally, I have reversed my symptoms and I have been able to add quite a few previous ingredients back in. I will never eat like I did before, which included lots of processed foods every day, and I will definitely always stay away from gluten. I eat a nutrient-rich Vegan A.I.P diet, focusing on eating very diverse and large portions of veggies to get in all my healing nutrients, while reintroducing some foods that I had previously eliminated, some legumes, some nightshades, some nuts, seeds, and grains, but in moderation. So check out my website. I'll put the link below where I have lots of information and lots of recipes, including a whole soup category where I've curated lots of favorite Vegan A.I.P soups, where I have lots of information on the Vegan Autoimmune Protocol, how to get started, the yes and no foods, and lots of ways I can support you. And also like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more. Really appreciate it. And so besides all these recipes, if you're in the United States, you want to definitely check out the website fullyhealthy.com, where there are tons of A.I.P foods that you can order, which will really make your life much simpler. And just make sure they're vegan. Not all the A.I.P foods on there are vegan. So let's bring on some spring Pistou soup. So here's your ingredients, pretty simple. You're going to start by dicing one onion and keep it aside because we're going to cook it separate from the other veggies. Then we're going to dice one zucchini, one carrot, and one celery stalk. Add a tablespoon of oil, avocado, or olive to a saucepan, and when it's good and hot, add the onions, and you're going to sweat them for a few minutes on medium heat. Then you're going to add the other veggies, along with a teaspoon of dried thyme or a sprig of fresh thyme, 1 bay leaf, 3 cloves of garlic diced, and don't forget to add your sea salt to taste. Some A.I.P compliant broth, which means no nightshades, no additives, no chemicals, like this Pacific mushroom broth, which you can pretty much find everywhere in the US. And you want to simmer your soup for about 30 minutes. Now we're going to make our grain-free cassava pasta. I had quite the learning curve when it came to cooking this pasta. It took me about a year to learn to cook it and like it, but I really love it now. So you need a full pot of water. You want to add a tablespoon of sea salt to the water, and don't add the pasta until it's at a full rolling boil. Now you definitely don't want to undercook or overcook this pasta, so it's a fine line of getting it right. But if you don't use your intuition and you follow the directions, you'll probably get it right. So it says on the box to cook it for 11 minutes, so I would do that and then take it out. So even though cassava, which comes from yucca, is an A.I.P compliant food, some people are still sensitive to it. So you really need to pay attention to the symptoms you're having, even when you're on the elimination phase of the vegan A.I.P. I am sensitive to cassava, so I eat it occasionally and in moderation. If I eat too much of it or too often, I do start getting symptoms like joint pain and sneezing and a few other things. So it's pretty obvious that I've eaten too much. So when I back off, the symptoms go away. After 11 minutes, drain your pasta and you can rinse it or not, but definitely keep it separate from the soup. You only want to add cassava pasta right before serving, otherwise it'll turn to mush. Okay, let's make our pesto, or French pistou. Pistou, apart from pesto, usually doesn't have cheese or pine nuts. So you want to start with a 3 or 4 ounce package of fresh basil, and you want to rip the leaves off, add it to a food processor, add 4 tablespoons of oil, olive or avocado, 1 or more cloves of garlic, whatever you like, and blend it up. I realized my food processor was too big for the job. It just wasn't getting fine enough. I also needed to add a little more oil. I added a little lemon juice and a bit of sea salt, and then decided I needed to switch to a small food processor to get the consistency I needed. There we go. It should look like this. I actually think it's a good idea to double the pesto recipe. More is better. So here we are. You got your soup, your pasta, and your pesto. It's a lovely spring soup, even without the beans. And if you want to add a little nutritional yeast, go right ahead. Just make sure it's non-fortified. You can find that online. I hope you enjoy this. Be well.